So I hope no one's planning on leaving early tonight, because there's going to be a lot of speeches and they're going to be very long. So I have to start off just with one little speech about Andrew, just to kind of warm you guys up a little bit. But about 5 or 6 months ago, Andrew asked me to come over and meet Moriah. I was next door to my parents. And I said, "Are you sure? Because all of your other girlfriends, when you introduced me, those relationships ended." Normally, I don't get introduced until I'm emceeing their wedding or something like that. So I was very surprised that he wanted to introduce me before they even got engaged. I said, "At least get engaged before you introduce us." But no, he insisted that I come over. And so that's why I know Moriah is going to be perfect for this family, because she's here. And this is a first. Yes. So I know she's going to be part of our great Johnson clan, and we're looking so forward to having her part of our family. So with that, the next speech coming up, we're going to do things a little bit differently, but our next speech coming up is we're going to do things a little backwards. I would like Mark, the father of the groom, to come up first. And there's a reason for all this, but I've been told to have Mark come up first.
All right.
Because we know if you waited for Mark to be last, a lot of you would be gone by then. So we want to make sure you hear Mark's speech.
All right. First of all, I want to say thank you to everybody that's here, that's come from far distances and traveled to share this day with us. I don't think it matters if it's closer to my mouth. It does. Does it? Yeah.
You can stand back.
It's maybe a shaker. That's not my knees knocking. Well, maybe it is actually. I want to thank everybody for coming. Also want to say thanks to the Cox family. Kind of got to know them here a little bit lately, and we've just grown to really love them. And we were here kind of watching everybody just come in and all the work that was done here. The family and friends that's been here to help really amazed me. So I want to thank everybody for making this happen, and for the Cox family for putting this together. And I want to thank Moriah for showing up today. This is the 5th time we've got to this point. No, just kidding. Just kidding. I forgot what I was going to say now. That wasn't in my notes, and I don't even have notes. Want to welcome Moriah into our family. We love her dearly, and everybody that knows Moriah knows she is the most positive, affirmative person in the world. You could literally fall into a mud pit, and she could convince you look good enough to go to church. You are the best of everybody is the best. And she makes me feel like I'm the best, and that's why we love her. Be nice to have some reassurance, even from my own kids once in a while. So I only got one boy left, so we're trying to get some real reassurance. But that reminds me of a story of her positivity, and I don't want to brag, but I knew she was meant for Andrew the first time she came to our house. And I had no spiritual thoughts, or it wasn't nothing like that. I just knew because of what happened. Her and Moriah, my Moriah, I have a daughter named Moriah, became close friends, and Moriah came up to visit for the first time. And I don't think she knew Andrew existed. I'm not even sure if she knows he exists right now yet. but she came up for a visit, and she's a lover of the outdoors, and Andrew, my Moriah, and Moriah went for a walk. And there's a trail that goes around the woods, and is this okay? Okay. Are you sure? Are you sure? So they go for a walk around the woods. Well, Moriah's, my Moriah's seen it, done it, and the trail was coming back towards the house. So my Moriah decides she's coming home, but Andrew wants to take the long way home, and which consists of climbing a fence. And Moriah, being the lover of the outdoors, she wants to see more of the woods, so she goes and follows Andrew for the long way around. And I'm not shaking. So Andrew's going to show her the long way around. She's following him, and he has to climb a fence. And he gets up over the fence, and when he commits to going over to the other side, he's committed. But the fence is committed to catching onto the backside of his pants and blew those things wide open. So they come home, and Moriah is, when I see there's no signs of turmoil or trauma from witnessing this, she comes over, the woods were beautiful. These are the best woods ever. I love these woods. I look down at my wife and I go, yep, she's the one. And of course, Esther looks at me, are you sure? I said, anybody that can witness that. Could witness that display of coolness and coordination. Not to mention those Fruit of the Looms. And still keep it together is meant for Andrew. Those Fruit of the Looms would drive my wife up the wall. Those are the most powerful pair of Fruit of the Looms known to mankind. So just have a lot of Clorox bleach and you'll be good. You're amazing, Moriah, and we want to welcome you to our family. I wanted to say, may the love of God be in the center of your home. May the peace of God cover your home, and may the blessings of God be with you from here into your next adventure. And we look forward to watching you, take the next step in life together. We love you both.
Tell about when they have the prayer for breakfast.
No, that's another story. I want people to stay. Yeah. There was something else I was going to say. Oh. So I just want to tell you, Moriah, I will do anything for you, anything you ask. There's only one thing I can't promise you, and I can't promise you that I can save you from the Johnson version of the Happy Birthday song. Our latest edition, Dear Maggie, we accidentally sang it to her before their wedding, and we thought she was calling it off. It's bad. Diane. I haven't been talking this whole time. No. If anybody's heard our version of this Happy Birthday song, it's like a cross between a funeral song and a semi-truck running over a set of bagpipes. It's just hideous. Like, it makes the hair stand up on the back of your neck. Diane usually runs in and starts the song on the right key and the right beat before Paul can get involved, so we can at least have half the song. So I will try my best We don't even get together no more because nobody wants the song. But we love you. Welcome to the family. I love you. If there's anything we can do, let us know. God bless you.
Well, that explains a lot right there when he said that Moriah sees the positive in everything. Because I always trying to figure out what did she see in Andrew. So that just opened my eyes right there. We've been trying to see the positive in Andrew for about 25 years. We love that guy. So our next speaker will be Gary, the father of the bride.
Okay, I can read real good, so. I'm not as good as Mark. I can't. That is me. My knees shaking there. Okay, I just want to say I'm the father of the beautiful bride, and just want to welcome all of you and thank everyone for your help and all that you've done to make this possible. And thank you, Austin. How's this? Okay, but anyway, I'd just like to thank everybody. Everybody's been awesome. We couldn't have done this without you. And we've had our struggles, but I think we've made it. So. Congratulations. Okay. But anyway, we just want to welcome Andrew to her family and the Johnson family, and appreciate all of you. It's great to have good Christian people to fellowship with, and we welcome you. Thank you for everything you've been to us, and taking care of Moriah and all the adventures in the woods and all that. So anyway, but I can't believe that Moriah and my little baby girl is married now, and it's been a struggle for me, but she's always been Daddy's little girl ever since she was born. I was of course working and everything and trying to get some sleep, but she decided that I was the only one that could put her to sleep at night. So I would go to bed, and then whenever Lynette would try to get her to sleep, and she would cry and all that. So Lynette comes and says, "Gary, you're gonna have to do something." So I get up and put her to sleep. So didn't take long, but anyway, it was a touching experience, very special. So. And then as she turned into a very determined, driven young lady, and, it didn't happen just when she became an adult. She was kind of always been that way. She took over Chloe as being Chloe's mother for. But anyway, so it's been awesome. We've really had a good family, good children. Hannah, everybody knows Hannah and her family now, and now Moriah, and Chloe's probably not far behind, but. Okay, that's enough. So Anyway, I'll tell that story. I went up to Mark and we moved Moriah last weekend up to Michigan and got them settled in their little apartment. Esther's really done an awesome job for them and got them a start there. It's a beautiful little apartment in their basement. So anyway, Mark took me over to see Brother Samuel and so we was talking there and he said, "So Gary, how's things going?" I'm like, "Things are going really well, except I've got a problem." He's like, "So what's that?" I'm like, "Well, these Johnson boys are trying to clean me out." So anyway, Andrew, we're glad to welcome you to our family and gained a son, so appreciate you. That's my second son. Josh is my first one, son. But anyway, yeah, it's been good, and but I appreciate everything. Appreciate the life you live, the loving God, serving Him, and that's what I've always wanted for my daughters is someone to lead them in the right direction. That's what you got to do. I appreciate you. If I ever see you not doing that, I'll come see you. So. So anyway, Moriah, she's awesome. She's got a lot of cocks in her, so you got a battle to travel there. No, it's not all bad. She's driven. I'm talking about the Cox trade. The Coxes are stubborn. They're hard-headed. There's only it's a proven fact for generations. So. But no, she's good. She's like I said, she's driven. When she sets her sights, she goes for it, and she's really focused. So I think y'all do good. And I wish you the best. And bless you. And we thank you for it and everything you've done. So I just want to bless you and both of you. And like I said, if there's anything we can do to help you through, help you to, please call. I know you're a long way away for now, but I think you'll be back someday. So. Thanks a lot.
Well, when I heard him say about one more thing.
Forgot something. Brother Andrew Stutzman, you can come forward at this time. Wherever he's at. There he is.
Gary asked me to, Gary and Lynette both asked me to sing this.
If I could catch a star for you, I swear I'd steal them all tonight, to make your every wish come true, and every dream for all you have. That's not how the story goes. The world is full of perfect plans. If there's a promise that I wrote, I know one day you'll understand. times are hard, I know you'll be strong, and I'll be there in your heart, and you'll carry on like moonlight on the water and sunlight in the sky. Fathers and daughters never say goodbye. An angel I will read to sleep gave me one dream of my own. So learn to love and spread your wings and find the one to call your home. When times are hard, I know you'll be strong, and I'll be there in your heart when you'll carry on like moonlight on the water and sunlight in the sky. Fathers and daughters will never say goodbye. Fathers and daughters will never say goodbye.
That was awesome. I just couldn't help but think of when he was saying that the Johnsons are going to clean out the Coxes. One of our kids, we've been married going on 42 years right now, and one of our kids asked us, how much does it cost to get married? And I told him, I don't know, I'm still paying for it. I don't know what the cleaning out meant. I don't know how that corresponds with that, but that just kind of came to my mind. Our next speaker is going to be Nathaniel Holder. If you could come up and talk.
Thank you. I'll keep it short and sweet and simple to the point, because every groom up here has a juicy story to tell. So, I haven't had the pleasure to hang out with Andrew as much as people up here and people out there, but I consider him a true friend. He's been there in times that I've been low, and he's made the great ones end with a smile and a sore stomach from laughing. So, to Moriah, you're the sweetest soul I've ever encountered. You brighten up every room you walk into and make strangers feel like old friends. So, to Moriah and Andrew, congratulations, and let me know if you need anything.
All right. Our next speaker is Wesley Wallace.
So I guess the longer the speech is, the longer I can stand by the heater over here. No. But yeah, just growing up with Andrew and made just uncountable memories over the years. Our connection was we're both love the outdoors, and he's and when I was little, I wanted to go in the mountains and be a mountain man, and that was Andrew too. We'd go out and he built a teepee in the woods, and he'd show me it, the deer skin, and we'd have good times. He came out to Arizona a lot of times, and one time we were going to go out live off the land, right? And so we went up there for I think a week, or what was it? That all we got was a rattlesnake and I think squirrels and some pine needle stew and stuff. But oh, it only lasted 2 days. Yeah, it was supposed to be a week, but it only lasted 2 days. But he's put up with a lot over the years. I think we took him to the firing squad once, and yeah, and then he was on Facebook. That was because he was on Facebook. You know, we're kind of in the country, and so then different abuse, and we put him through. But he's remained a true friend for sure. There was one story I was going to share. Just we go and camp up, and we have a ravine near our house, and we go camp up there in a little pine fort that we made, and it's pretty cool, and just like, you know, bring whatever from the house and kind of just have fun. And so what we do though is we'd have another brother that was out in the woods that didn't come up with us, and he'd bring a mountain lion call, and he could sneak up with the mountain lion call and, you know, scare whoever it was that was with us. Well, this time it was Andrew, right? And so I just remember before we had burritos for supper. That time we were living off the land, and he was trying to tell us how to bury it and do, you know, all this stuff so that it wouldn't be smelled and bring in predators, which we didn't. And so then when he heard this call, you know, and then he's like, guys, you hear something? We're like, yeah. And he's like, you know what? I think that sounds like a zebra. Where does that come from? You know, but I mean, it's just Andrew, right? You know, there's so many things, right? I mean, everybody here can say there's so many things that happen in life with Andrew, and you just say it's just Andrew, you know. But yeah, it's been quite the adventure. And oh yeah, and the last thought that went through his mind, we asked him, what was your last thought, you know, before the mountain lion ate you? And he's like, I knew we should have buried the burritos. You know? nothing grand, but it is. But yeah, no, it's been good. Come a long way since arguing about whether Tom Brown or a Navy SEAL would win in a fight, but it's been some good miles, good journey. And yeah, when Moriah, you know, you first started liking Moriah, we're like, wow. She is so perfect for him. You know, like, Lord, please let this happen. I am just ecstatic for both of you. Like Nathan said about Moriah, you light up the room. You're so hospitable and friendly. Yeah, I'm sure everybody here is going to say good things. So just really happy for both of you, and love you, Andrew, Moriah. All the best.
I have to apologize, but every time these guys do a speech, it reminds me of something about Andrew. I'm not supposed to be doing these speeches, but I can't help it. So when he said Facebook, about 2-3 years ago, we went on a fishing trip up to the northern parts of Canada. It's a 20-hour drive, and then you fly in about an hour and a half. And I don't know why, but Mark decided to invite Andrew this time. We've never taken Andrew, but this time we took Andrew. And we have a 20-hour drive. And about a half hour into that drive, we found out later on Facebook, he posted, we are 30 minutes into this drive and I'm already questioning my ancestry. Now, who would say that to people that took him on this nice trip? That's Andrew for you. So, our next speech is going to be from Christopher Hyatt.
All right. I have had the privilege of being Andrew's friend and him being my friend since probably we were about born, both the same age. Been my longest friend, and we've been on a lot of adventures together. We've had a lot of highs together at various camps and experiences and travels, and been through some lows together. Some broken bones and different adventures, like I said, different times. And it is, like I said, it's my pride and my honor to call and be called friend by Andrew. And I would have to say that he is one of, along with Moriah, he's one of the most positive people I'd say I know. I don't think I've ever heard Andrew complain about much of anything in life. And I think that is extremely, extremely admirable. It's not something you see very often. And I think you two complement each other very well. there's a time on a fishing trip with Andrew and Uncle Mark, and I heard that Andrew had Moriah's phone number and had it for some time, and I looked and said, how has this not happened yet? So you two are perfect for each other. And finally, here we are. I am happy for you both, and I look forward to seeing you two walk through life and grow closer to each other and grow closer to God. Yeah. God bless you both.
It's funny, the common theme I seem to hear is a marriage is better or for worse. He couldn't have done better. She couldn't have done worse. We love you, Andrew. I'm sorry. I digress. Okay. Our next speaker is Mark Minolti.
Well, I got a lot to say, but I'll try to keep it short. So welcome everybody to the only time of the day that Moriah didn't get to plan. Hand the mic out to these guys, you never know what will come out. It's also the point in the evening where we get to see Andrew start shifting nervously in his seat. We pass the mic from one guy to another. And as we alluded to earlier, the great news for everybody is there's plenty of material to work with. So for those of you who don't know me, my name's Mark. I've known Andrew since the late 90s. Having been friends for that long, we've been through a lot, been through the ups and the downs and the brunettes and the blondes. So a lot of people use wedding speeches to talk about all the great things, their friends and all the great attributes and memories that they have over the years, but that's not what you're here to hear, and that's not what I'm here to tell you. So growing up together, I've known Andrew since I was 6 or 7. One thing that always sticks out is that he's a tightwad. So we'd hang out with the youth group, we'd go out to dinner, we'd go out to McDonald's, and Andrew'd be like, yeah, I'll just take a milkshake for dinner. And because he was so cheap, he didn't want to spend money on a meal. And thinking back now, Christopher mentioned the highs and the lows. Probably where a lot of the lows came from. We grow older, and I started dating my now wife, Allison, and she lived in Tennessee, I lived in Michigan, and I was like, well, man, I was calling him, I was telling him how great she was. I was like, yeah, we're gonna be driving down and seeing her a lot. It's gonna be, like 6 or 7 hours each way, a couple times a month. And he was like, dude, that's so much gas money. So then he calls me and says, hey man, there's this girl that I've known her forever. He's like, she's in Kentucky. And I'm like, that's so much gas money, right? It's like funny how that turned out for you. Right, so that's how I knew it was gonna happen, because he was spending that much money on gas money. So I'll tell one story. Growing up together, I mentioned brunettes and blondes. We had our fair share of girl trouble, as guys do. And Andrew's the definition of a catch. He's tall, dark, and handsome. So all these girls were always following him around. He was completely oblivious to it. But really, when it came to the ladies, Andrew's biggest problem was that he was too nice. And so there's this one girl. She's following him around at camp. And we were all there. They all know what I'm talking about. So she's just absolutely in love with him, and Andrew being Andrew and the nice guy that he is, he doesn't want to break her heart, he doesn't want to let her down, and he doesn't know how to handle the situation. So we're at camp and we're talking, he's like, guys, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And comes up with this brilliant idea. She goes, I'm gonna make a fake Facebook page, and somehow all this keeps coming back to Facebook, but it's like, I'm gonna make a fake Facebook page for this girl that doesn't exist. You all need to add her as a friend. I'm gonna add that I'm in a relationship with her, and we're just gonna sell it. What could go wrong? So, the page still exists. Ask me later, I'll give you the details. You can go look at it. I know Moriah was involved at that time too, which is hilarious because they ended up together and everything, you know. So the best part, I say all this to say, you know, Andrew's a really nice guy, but the funny thing about it is he was setting up this page for this fake person, and he's like, it gets to the point where it's like, you know, her birthday, what date, right? So Andrew's like, well, I can't forget my fake girlfriend's birthday, right? So I need to pick a day that sticks out. So he doesn't pick the 4th of July, and he doesn't pick Christmas. He picks 9/11. He says, I'll never forget. Too soon. So speaking of 9/11, Andrew's the biggest conspiracy theorist I've ever met, and it's not even close. Did you know that the airplanes, when they fly through the sky, they leave like these chemicals and they impact us all? I didn't until one sleepover. We got educated. No, in all seriousness though, I'll wind it down, because like I said, I could say a lot, but these other guys have stuff to say. Andrew's, you know, like Christopher said, he's been my longest friend and my closest friend, really, through the years. I consider him a brother. He's been there for me through all the tough times that I've been through. He's been through a lot of tough times himself growing up. We're always able to rely on each other and our other friend group, and it really means a lot to me. And extraordinarily happy to see you be happy, and I'm excited for the life that you guys have in your future, and I wish you all the best. I have nothing else nice to say.
Yeah, that sounds exactly like Andrew. And I was on that fishing trip, and I seen those Fruit of the Looms, going back to what Mark said, and if she's seen that and everything was good scenery, then they'll be married forever. There's nothing worse than those Fruit of the Looms. All right. I'm not going to say too much before this next guy talks, as he might be a half an hour. So our next speaker is Seth Kavanaugh.
Alrighty. I've been waiting for this moment for a very, very long time. Last night I was told by the bride that I could say anything I want. I wrote this speech deliriously at 2:30 this morning, and it sounded great to me, so Andrew, buckle up, buddy. Here we go. Andrew is like a volcano in the sense that he is a disaster waiting to happen. Like a volcano, he is interesting to visit and observe from a distance. But you wouldn't really want to live there, would you? He is strange, otherworldly, and not governed by the laws of man. Andrew is what I like to call an agent of chaos. There's this prevailing thought that most people have that Andrew is a very frugal spender, and that's actually not true at all. Andrew spends lavishly. The thing is his sense of value is very different. We once went out for burgers one time, and he orders a burger and fries, and he asks for this special seasoning, and as the waitress walks away, he grabs it, hey, does that cost extra? She goes, yeah, 15 cents, and he goes, oh, never mind, I'll pass. That's not even a gumball, man. It's 15 cents. We go to his house after that, and he proceeds to show me one of his most prized possessions. A $300, hand-carved, Native American flute. He then proceeds to play what is possibly the worst rendition of Mary Had a Little Lamb that I have ever heard. After 3 painful minutes, he squeaked to a finish. He lowers his flute from his lips and smiles at me as if he's won something. Which he must have, because I felt like I had most assuredly lost something. We've lived in the same house as Andrew for about 4 years now while I've been going to school, and I've learned something very interesting about Andrew's worldview. Andrew thinks of himself as a welcome little surprise wherever he goes. I know this because the concept of doors is completely lost on him. If the door is closed, he assumes that it's because you forgot to leave it open for him. If the door is locked, it surely had to be a mistake, and he will sit there and jiggle the handle until you open it. Because what could you possibly be doing that you wouldn't want him there for? I hope he figures that one out.
This is awesome.
To his lovely now wife, I would like to apologize in advance. I recently got a lock-picking kit, and I'll be dropping in from time to time. This is kind of the hard part of my speech. I think it's hard to talk about Andrew and not talk about the fact that he has diabetes. I think that's an important thing about him because it's the interesting thing about illness is that it sort of demands to be noticed. It demands to be felt. And a lot of times it seems to overshadow the person that it affects. I mean, anybody who's ever had a toothache knows that. You get one small little pain in your body and it takes over everything. You'll pay any kind of money to get it fixed. It takes over every waking thought and every moment. And a lot of times it seems to consume your whole vision. And it's amazing to me that Andrew can have an illness that demands so much from him, and yet he isn't overshadowed by it. And I think that's because Andrew's overshadowed by something greater than an illness. It says in Psalms, "He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty." And that's where Andrew lives. Andrew is a man with no bitterness, but with every right to be. And though I can't possibly know the hurdles that he has to jump through every day, it's inspiring to me to watch him do it, not only do it, but do it with joy. And though I'll never say it to his face, I love him very much. And I'm proud to be able to call him my brother, even if he is a volcano.
I have absolutely nothing to add to that. That is perfect. Our next speaker, finally, we're going to get some of the ladies, and that's Moriah Kavanaugh. Come on up.
How can I beat his speech?
You're beautiful.
He got me all teary on that one. How can you try to explain how much someone means to you over a 3-minute speech or whatever, or describe how growing up with Andrew was like? Well, it's impossible. If you really know Andrew, literally anything I could say right now, you would believe it, because it's Andrew. There was a time growing up, we were pretty much joined at the hip at the youth camps. We even had people ask if we were couples. And we're like, ew, no, we're brother and sisters. Sorry, I'm nervous. I was there when I heard you scream like a little girl on that roller coaster. Dad, you remember that too. to doing school with you every day, confiding in you and telling you all my secrets. We would do that for hours out in our meadow on top of that old tractor. We could go from that to from me yelling at you till I was blue in the face because I knew you had just cheated at Othello or Uno. And you would just give me that goofy, silly little grin. That one. To this day, I know you cheated because you could never actually beat me in those games. And I know, Momo, that is a little bit of a pet peeve of yours, cheating. So, a word of advice, I just wouldn't play games with him. I know he did pack a bunch of games for your honeymoon, so I don't know. I'm just letting you know. Now, Momo. When we first met at church camp, we bonded over our first names. They're the same. I was Moriah Johnson, and she was Moriah Cox. And now I'm Moriah Kavanaugh, and she is Moriah Johnson. She took my brother, and then she took my name. I'm fine with Kavanaugh now. Hey, but it's also comforting to know that there will always be a Moriah Johnson in the family, and I couldn't have picked a better person. Momo is one of the most kind-hearted people I've ever met. She has been a steadfast friend for so many years. It's felt like we've always been sisters, but now we can officially say we're sisters. I love you both so much, and it's amazing that two people who have been so special to me have fallen in love with each other, and that makes me so happy. I love you both so much.
That's great. We're going to keep going real quick here. We got a few more. So our next speaker is Anthony Johnson.
So I am the oldest in our family, and I've had the very interesting and exciting experience of growing up with Andrew as we were kids and whatnot. And a phenomenon that happened very shortly in life was Andrew liked to do everything I did. And so if I was riding a bike, Andrew had to ride a bike. It didn't matter that he couldn't even touch the pedals on the bike because he was so young, he would ride that bike. He would eat gravel for the first few days trying, but he was very determined and he did it. And our parents saw this, and they would make use of it as well. We were sitting at the dinner table, and Andrew didn't want to eat his green beans. They'd say, look at Anthony, he's eating his green beans. Andrew suddenly started to like green beans. If Andrew didn't want to wear his red tie to church, they'd say, look at Anthony's red tie. I like red ties. I'll wear it to church. And so, me being young and not completely ignorant of the situation, and Andrew just being young, I thought of ways to take advantage of this phenomenon. So, I guess growing up, I was the oldest, so I had this responsibility to be responsible, level-headed, and just think things through properly. Andrew had a completely different way about life at that time. So I thought, well, what can I do to get him to do things that I want to do, but I know the consequences, and I don't want to meet those. So I came up with this little phrase, Andrew, I bet you can't. So this one day, we were walking in the backyard, and I had this rock in my hand, and I was like, Andrew, I bet you can't hit that glass window way over there. And it's like, well, won't it break? It's like, no, you're not strong enough. It won't break. Oh, sorry, Dad, that wasn't a suicidal pigeon that hit that window. And another time we were outside and I noticed a bee's nest up in this tree. And I had a water balloon in my hand, which did, and it's like, hey Andrew, see that nest up there? Why don't you throw this water balloon at it? And it's like, how fast are our bees? Like, we're faster. Just throw the balloon. Well, what about Levi crawling underneath it? He'll be fine. Don't worry. Just send it. Oh, sorry, Levi. When a bee's nest lands on your head, you'll be fine. And yeah, that was kind of life growing up. It was very interesting. Andrew made it great. And we had a lot of good times growing up. And just kind of getting back to what some of the other guys alluded to is Andrew is a genuinely good guy. You won't find anybody out there that just as genuinely good as he is. He's gone through a lot, and you would never know it if he didn't indulge those circumstances. So. And I know, Momo, you're just as good and genuine as well. And I'm just so happy for you. And congratulations. Welcome to the family.
I'm even learning something today. I've always wondered what happened to Levi. Now I know. That explains a lot. Our next speaker is Hannah Lord-Loven.
Yeah!
Hello, everyone. Woo, sorry. I'm Hannah. I'm Moriah's older sister. And I want to welcome you all and thank you, everyone, for all that you did to make it possible today, even under circumstances we didn't plan, but it all turned out so beautifully. And I know there's more that have something to say, so I'm going to keep it short. But Moriah and I have countless childhood memories, and I would love to tell you tons, but most of them aren't appropriate for the public. So, but one that I do often think about is when Moriah was at home alone and Mom was at my house. And she calls Mom and she's like, we always make fun of Moriah for being such a scaredy cat, for one. But she calls Mom and she's like, Mom, somebody's in the house and I can hear footsteps and they're stomping everywhere and I think they're coming to get me. And so I'm like, okay, Moriah. I'm like the protective older sister by nature. So I'm like, go get in that little secret closet in your room and hide there. We're coming. So I go and get my gun and we zoom down the road to Moriah's rescue and we come in and Mom and I are like, all right, let's go save her. And you I did. We're gonna leave out some of my. I think I read too many mystery novels as a kid, but I was like, whoever's in here, I've got a gun and I'm not afraid to use it. So I'm gonna just save Moriah from this predator. So we go in, Moriah's upstairs huddled in her closet, and we clear the house, there's nobody there. And then I was like, I should check the basement. So we go down to the basement and there's the family dog. He had gotten in and he was walking up and down the steps. How she didn't hear 4 paws, we don't know, but but Andrew, we are gonna pass the torch of being her protector over to you from here on out. And I think Chloe, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that she would also relinquish her spider killing duties for Moriah. And also, I'm sorry for the time that I did something wrong and you got a spanking. I knew that I was gonna get a spanking, but Moriah was usually the one in trouble, so I went in her room and I was like, Moriah, let's put a bunch of underwear on you. And so I emptied out like her entire underwear drawer and put them all on her. And I do think she got a spanking, so for that I'm sorry. Moriah is, we were blessed to grow up in a very small town. Everyone knows everyone, and everyone knows Moriah. Everywhere you go, if they find out who my sister is, they're like, oh my gosh, Moriah is the nicest, kindest, most compassionate, bubbly, everything that everyone has already said. But she's well known for that, and it's definitely what makes her who she is. I'm not gonna cry. I wasn't gonna tell any stories because I didn't want to cry. But she is, like everyone said, she could make a complete stranger part of the family in a matter of seconds. And she's also the best auntie ever. Our boys, when she's around, they are like so pumped. They love their Auntie Yaya, and they love playing with her and the way she spoils them. I've been worried about how they would feel with her moving so far away, temporarily. But Josiah said it best last night. I was like, how are you feeling about Moriah moving away? And he was like, I'm sad, but I'm just really happy for her mommy. So we can all see how much you love Andrew. And Andrew, we love you too. Thank you for taking such good care of her and loving her so well. And we all just wish you the most that life has to offer. All the joy, love, and prosperity that you can imagine. And I pray that you'll always put the Lord first in all things and each other second. And everything else is going to come together after that. And Andrew, welcome to the family. We love you, and we hope everything is just fantastic for you guys. God bless you.
It reminded me when Seth talked about Andrew being a volcano, it reminded me of a saying that marriages are made in heaven. This marriage especially. But so is lightning, thunder, tornadoes, and hail. That fits with Andrew right there. Our next speaker is none other than Levi Johnson.
So, as you can tell, the Johnson family isn't a normal family. And Andrew started that, so I'm going to take the pressure off of Anthony there. But I'm trying to think of a story that, would tell us what it's like in the Johnson family. And I strictly remember this one time, we're all sitting at the dinner table, and Dad gives you that dad look, right? Looks everyone in the eyes, and, you don't know if this is your last dinner. And he just looks at everyone, and he just stares at us for a while. We're all worried, and he's like, kids, I make fun of you guys because I love you. And, I was thinking about that, and Andrew's the favorite child. He gets everything. So, with that story in mind, Andrew, during this speech, I just want you to know how much I love you, the Johnson way. Now, I want to tell you a little what it was like growing up with Andrew as a brother. He was the brother that said, "You're too chicken to throw that rock through that window." I wasn't chicken. I showed him. He was also the brother that dared us to ride four-wheelers to the neighbor's yard with that had a loose German Shepherd. That didn't end well either. Andrew was the brother that would listen to the door as one of us got spanked. He was also the brother that got spanked for listening to us getting spanked. So it was kind of worth it, because we always knew, if Dad gets a hold of us, Andrew is bound to get caught. But there was always that time growing up that you don't get along, but mainly that was because of how different our personalities were. You know, Andrew was always loud, obnoxious, and he always did dumb things. While I was calm and, you know, self-controlled and good-looking. So. But in the end, I really can say that Andrew is one of the best brothers I have. Sorry, Andrew. You know, Andrew's the only one that I could get away with, you know, pretending that I'm sleeping all the way down to Kentucky, and he would, you know, drive the rest of the way. Or Andrew, everything he's been through, like everyone said, he really, it's hard to get him mad unless a pen's not working. You know, other than that, you can kick him when he's down, you can do whatever, but man, if that pen don't work, that's it. It's over. But I'll leave Andrew alone. But one thing I want to say, you know, out of everything Moriah's seen, the one thing surprisingly that she just doesn't understand, out of everything she's seen, and the Johnson family, it's something, man. It's something. And I just remember, you know, she just like, I just like got home or something. She just like looked at me and she's like, I cannot believe when you guys get off the phone, you brothers don't say you love each other. And I was like, well, I mean, Dad used to like punish us by making us hug. He did that just because he enjoyed watching us torture. I mean, the last thing you want to see us do is hug or say we love you. But, so just for the sake of all future phone calls that I'm probably going to forget or just not say, I just want to say that I do love you guys. Caleb, go ahead and help me out. And if you don't know, Andrew's famous nickname is Juicebox Johnson. And he wouldn't be where he was without all the force-fed juice boxes we've given him for his life. And I just want to do a cheers, either with your glass or a special handheld juice box from Haichi. This isn't sponsored. And to the best for you guys, and I hope, even though I guarantee you it's not going to happen, I hope you never run out of juice boxes. So, cheers. Love you guys, and I wish you guys really the very best. You really are just, you're awesome. I love you guys.
There's a reason why we do these speeches after they get married. If we did it before, they would walk away. Okay, our last, not our last speech, but the last before we get to the wedding party is Chloe Cox. Save the best for last.
Hi. After all of that, I've just been like waiting for my time of doom. I can't measure up to anyone else, but I'm just gonna give it a go. I hope everyone's having a good time tonight. It was a trial, but we made it. I was graced with the privilege to be the bride's sister and maid of honor today. We've always been very close, and being a year and a half apart, there isn't much that's happened where the other wasn't there. I remember Moriah being a 16-year-old, obsessed with her hot pink zebra stage. And she was crushing hard on this guy named Andrew. Moriah isn't one to bare her soul easily, and she didn't come out and say it, but I knew she was smitten. Years went by, and they stayed friends because Andrew couldn't get a hint. Everyone knew but him. Till one day when Andrew was ziplining, and Christopher was actually there. He can probably tell us a lot better than I can. But the handle broke, causing him to fall, breaking his pelvis. He's a volcano. he was laying in the hospital bed, and he couldn't stop thinking about Moriah. And what he did not know is that she was still thinking about him. Who knew something so good could come out of a hospital bill? Okay, so from that day on, you guys have been inseparable. Andrew and Moriah balance each other so well, and there's no doubt the opposites attract. The beautiful thing about being opposites is that you teach each other a perspective you never knew was even there. As you get older, life goes on and people change. This is why I try to keep it short. As we get older, life goes on and people change, but with you two, I'm so certain that you are going to laugh your way through life. I'm such a baby. You're going to cherish one another, embrace each other's faults, and love just like Jesus loves us. I wish you both all the happiness life can bring. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson. I love you both. Love you.
Just listening to these speeches makes you realize what awesome friends that Andrew and Moriah have. I know when I got married, we only had 6 brides people, and I had to hire the 6th one because I only had 5 friends. So this is just absolutely amazing to see this many people here. I've never seen a bigger wedding party in my life. So that shows what kind of people that these two are. So I think we're going to end it up with the bride and groom coming up and just saying their piece to the people that came out to celebrate with you guys. Why don't you come on up?
Didn't know he was going to get
Wow, guys, this is a lot of emotions for me. I'm laughing till my face hurts, then I'm nearly crying, then I get cold. Thankfully, I'm all juiced up right now. It is a lot. I mean, I've almost forgot we're married. Should I be dead? I feel like if I keep going on, like I'm gonna ruin it. But there's been a lot of help just setting all of this up. Like you wouldn't think, but there's been a lot of whoopsies. You wouldn't think that we didn't plan this happen just how it happened. I mean, a big thanks to Lynette and Gary. They've done so much. A lot of what I've seen, I know they've done way more. And the bridal party, like they've been, I mean, yesterday, just putting things out and working till the end. My parents just growing up, being a good example, and how to be a couple, how to work differences, and just be an example overall. It's been a real encouragement. I've just had a good example to live by, and I hope I can do it justice. I love Moriah with all my heart. I got really lucky. I have a lot of flaws. And I don't know how, but God made someone to complete every one. So I guess I'm perfect. means a lot. Every one of you here has had a part of our lives, and it just means so much to share this special moment with you guys. It means a lot. I know it's Josh Borlevon's birthday. I know if I ever forget that, being this is our wedding day, we have bigger problems. I would sing happy birthday, but I want to keep it happy. Actually, not too many people get to experience the Johnson birthday theme song. We're all here. You have Uncle Brian, my dad, Uncle Paul.
Oh, no.
No music. You guys should, yeah, actually, yeah, do it.
I'm another Johnson